So it comes from the taxpayers' money. And then what's going to happen is they will have, obviously because it's publicly owned, there's no property tax. The revenue that is generated from that stadium is going to go solely to the Bears. After 40 years of zero property tax and paying nothing, then the Bears can buy that stadium from them. In addition to that, the Bears will pay $2 billion in funds for the stadium and another $1 billion for the infrastructure. So they're asking for essentially no taxes. And in addition to that, they would have to put up nothing for the infrastructure half, just for the stadium itself. That's a lot. Now, it's not crazy for a team to have a tax incentive to build because, again, yes, these teams can be worth eight to $10 billion, but you want to help a business to start a large project, and then with the funds you receive over time, you would recoup that money. The problem is the Bears don't have the capital to do all of this. To put together, for instance, for SoFi, I think it was $6 billion total, about 4.8 went for the stadium. The rest of it was infrastructure. That was all Stan Kroenke, if I said his name correctly. That was all him. They then used TIF resources to literally fund the
that was all Stan Kroenke said, because I was in St.
right,
Louis when a lot of that stuff was going on. Stan Kroenke was basically like, hey, here's the check.
right. And so that makes sense to give them some sort of tax help because he purchased that in his entirety in himself. The Bears can't foot the bill in the entirety for this stadium. They can't. They don't have the cash on hand, and they need part of it to come from the state. My biggest issue is that I understand that there needs to be incentives to the Bears. I don't mind an incentive in general. The problem is that what they're asking for is just a lot for something that's not going to be as great of an economic benefit. If they were to stay with the Arlington site and pay regular property taxes, they would pay about $60 million a year. Sorry, $60 million a year. They're asking, and was restructured, I think, through that bill, the Pilot Act or the Pilot Bill, for $10 million a year. $10 million a year. The Woodfield Mall pays more than that. Woodfield Mall pays $17 million a year. The Sears Tower is $50 million a year. Now, we can talk about the fact that the Sears Tower is year-round, Skokie Mall, all that. At the same time, that's a lot. That's a huge chunk to go from 60 to 10. So then my thought isn't to immediately say no to that. My next thought is, why am I giving you this? What's behind that? Are you going to put together all of your money? Is it going to be solely funded by you and you need help to get to this level? If that was the case, I can understand. But you're asking for that, and then we're going to need another billion from the state as well. That's a lot. Then the flip side, you have Indiana, which is just willing to give up the draws to everybody and fund their stadium. And I know Illinois can't compete with that. And I'm not mad at the Bears for taking a deal that sweet. But these stadiums don't give much economic activity. I mean, think about it. Out of 365 days a year, how often are the Rams at that stadium? How often is any NFL team at that stadium?
That's it, really.
9 games out the season?
Yeah, it's 9 games out the season, not counting preseason. Um, you got some concerts that might happen, depending on the state and how busy it is.
Right.
Because we've seen major concerts at SoFi, Beyonce, and others have been there. But it is, you're right. It is not like this is going to be for everyday use.
Yeah, it's not an everyday use thing. And so what does the state, what do the taxpayers get from that? You get a sports team. I feel better if the Bears are like, hey, we're going to fund 98% of all of this. We're going to put in $3 billion for the stadium. We're going to put in some that will help with the infrastructure. But, we just need a little bit of a tax break. Or if they said, hey, this stadium would be publicly owned. Because out of the 32 NFL stadiums, 3 are privately owned. 3 are fully privately owned. The rest are a mix of public and private, and some are completely publicly owned. The Bears want all of this, and then also, yeah, we want to own all of that as well.
I mean, well, you also dealing with a team that ain't used to nothing.
Yeah.
Like for the Chicago Bears to be a charter franchise, I think sometimes being a charter franchise is a gift and a curse to it, depending on what you've done. On social media today, I was like, man, y'all wasn't outside for the McDome conversations. Y'all wasn't outside for the build a stadium by UIC conversations. Like Mayor Daley, Mayor Richard J. Daley wanted to build a stadium near UIC. The Bears was like, nah, we straight. They wanted McDome. We end up getting the renovations. Even if you go as far as hell, the 70s, the Arlington Heights and Gary has always been the carrot that they've dangled over everybody when they wanted a new stadium. It just so happens that Northwest Indiana has finally, possibly, depending on how you're looking at it, may have finally gotten what they've wanted for years, which is the Chicago Bears. I think the biggest question that I have at this point, outside of everything that you named, is essentially what's next. Like I think that the Chicago Bears putting this press release out and all of that, nothing has been signed and nothing's official. We all know this seems like that the Chicago Bears wants the state of Illinois to create a special session so the House can pass this special legislation for them because right now they are in recess. So being that they're in recess, the only way that you're going to get it in the time frame that them and the NFL would like is for a special session, and it looks like that Illinois is balking on that potentially, or maybe this might make JB Prisker go and say, "Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this June 19th, and then let's go ahead and see what happens from there, so we could get this out the way."
All right.
Do you see this being the final nail in the coffin for the Bears, and it is a foregone conclusion that they're going to Hammond? Or do you feel like there's still a shot, there's still a chance that the Chicago Bears will remain in Illinois?
When it first started, when I first saw the I'm sorry, look at that
Right.
comment. When I first saw
Shondo.
the tweet that Scott sent me, I was like, oh man, it seems like it is. The board of directors of the Bears voted. Now the board of directors is essentially McCaskey and his brothers, and then Pat Ryan. So I started getting details of that. I started literally following the not elites, but those who are knowledgeable in the situation, those who are journalists down in Springfield, journalists in the city, journalists who are in Hammond, in Indiana. And then you hear from state lawmakers, and I said, oh shit. We heard from state lawmaker Cam Buckner, who was like, oh yeah, Kevin Warren also said he looks forward to talking more about state of Illinois. I said, then what the fuck? What's the point of all this then? What's the point of talking this big game about how this is going to happen? This is going to happen. We've signed off. We're fully focusing it, and then clawing back. I think it just comes down to just straight up mismanagement. The biggest issue is that they've played at Soldier Field for quite some time. It's a publicly owned stadium. They pay no property taxes, but they pay about $6 million a year in rent. $6 million a year in rent for a team where they billion. That's not a lot at all. Yeah. Soldier Field itself generates about $63 million in revenue. The Bears are pocketing most of the game day money already, so they're already getting the vast money of that. 2023, they buy that Arlington Heights stadium that Arlington Heights land for like $200 million. They want a $2 billion dome stadium there. Rather than just taking your money, start building it, getting it cracking, working with the state. Let's then go to the state because we need a law that doesn't exist, because then we need to get some public funds and we need to help them to pay for all this stuff. It's like, it's annoying. But then they realized, oh man, we're in a big money hole with all that we've put toward this property. So let's run to Indiana. And all of this looks like is a team that is indecisive, or a team that's not used to dealing with this level of money. The team that's used to not level of money, but level of just negotiation. And then a team that historically made terrible decisions financially. And I mean, think about, when were the renovations on Soldier Field? You remember that? Remember what year that was?
Ooh, they started at, I want to say, in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
They came to the deal like 1997, 1998. I know, I want to say it was half a bill, or like three to 5 billion, 100 billion. I mean, million, excuse me, I'm billion. I think it was like 300 to 500 million.
Right. And so it was a shitty update to the stadium.
Yeah.
The stadium is, the stadium itself was fine, but obviously could need an update to it. The better thought would have been just to tear down and build over, but I don't know all the caveats that have to go into it.
The Friends of the Park and the Park District ain't gonna let you tear down Soldier Field.
Right.
It'll be a
And
riot.
the idea of them owning something over the lake is near to impossible because you can't have private property that close
Because
to the lake.
Scott,
It's in the Constitution.
before you jump in, and this is really for both of y'all too. Let's just move. Let's just move Arlington Heights out the way, because the person that's been the loudest is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. He did the sports media run for some strange reason. He's the one that's been out front talking. We've heard from the Arlington Heights mayor, but Brandon has been talking to anybody that got a mic in his face. Where possibly could the Bears land in Chicago, knowing that they don't want the same setup as Soldier Field? They want to
Well,
be able to have naming rights. They want to be able to get more of a piece of the pie and all of this stuff. Telling people, telling them to stay in Soldier Field. I don't think nobody really wants to tell them that outside of just being selfish and wanting things not to change.
it's kind of like what Spiegel said on Holmes and Spiegel the other day. He keeps talking about a girlfriend that doesn't exist. Like there's nowhere to build it at. Like I know Dante always comes in the group chat talking about the Michael Reese area, but
Right.
let's be honest here. Unless they had the authority to tear down the McCormick Place. When the last time you seen an actual conference in McCormick Place? Been a long time. Like
C2E2, and that's it.
yeah, like unless they were able to tear down all that and be able to actually own that area, it's not gonna happen. That's why I think the people who are bringing up Chicago was funny to me. To me, it's always been Hammond or Arlington. And my whole thing today has been this. I'm glad Joe broke down the full, legal parts of it because when he was explaining it to me earlier, I was like, oh fucking dog. That was
What's up,
like,
buddy?
yeah, I was like, Ed up in Good Burger. I know some of these words. Matter of fact, I have to take him outside. So, Joe, I'm gonna let you answer this question. I'll be right back.
Give me that question again, Bang. I could barely hear it over, buddy.
And where could you go in Chicago? Talking
Yeah.
about not the Chicagoland area,
Mhm.
talking about Chicago, talking about Cook County, talking about downtown or anywhere near it. If
Uh, Nowhere really. I don't think of any space that. No, there's nowhere good for the Bears to play at. Literally, the only good area for them to play at is where they're at now. And the solution to me would be to tear down half of freaking McCormick Place, tear down the old Soldier Field, and rebuild it right there.
which is where they wanted to be in the first place in 1995 when they was trying to do the McDome.
Yeah,
Like
it,
that,
it
I
is.
think
No, go
real
ahead, bro.
quick, I just think that's the frustrating part for me.
Right,
The frustrating part for me is I don't think that the Chicago Bears should have ever been in this situation in the first place.
right,
We could go into hindsight, but as we all just said, and as we all know, don't shit be going on over there at McCormick Place. Nothing goes on over at McCormick Place so much so that when it is national media here for something, they don't be like, yo, we're here at McCormick Place in Chicago to do X, Y, and Z.
right,
That's why when I actually showed my wife the whole McDonald thing, because she was a shorty when that was going on, and she wasn't necessarily aware that Richard Daley was trying to work with the University of Illinois Chicago to build the stadium in what is now the West Loop. Whereas the Bears was like, nope, we want it over here. They
right,
came to the agreement of what has happened, but they they threatened to move the team to Aurora. Like they threatened the team to move to Aurora. They threatened to move the team to Hammond. They threatened to move the team to Hoffman Estates. And now look what we have in Hoffman Estates. We have the Now Arena. So these things have at least since the late 70s, even with George Hallis.
right,
Yo, shit, we gonna slap the Gary on y'all ass. Like
right,
Papa Hallis also was like, yo, we gonna move.
right.
This is legit the first time where I believe that the Bears grabbed their nuts and was like, forget it. it still remains to be seen if it's going to happen or not. But
Yeah,
I also shared a video in my stories from Yahoo Sports where they had a video of how many miles it is from Hammond to Chicago.
right,
I also believe that if it's going to be outside of Chicago, it's probably the best place is Hammond.
right.
It's like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. A catch
Yeah.
22. Whereas if you were to ask me, where would you rather the stadium be, Arlington Heights or Hammond, Indiana? Yeah, I'm over there by Power 92.
Right.
Yeah, I would. By the way, everybody who just started watching on YouTube about 15 minutes, for whatever reason, StreamYard didn't connect to YouTube, so you missed the first 5 to 8 minutes, but it's up
Right.
and running now. Um,
I did
but
want to
yeah,
make a caveat. I did want to make a caveat on the statement because I know a lot of people are looking at, well, SoFi Stadium is $5 to $6 billion and they only pay 14 million in taxes. Here's the difference in the California way that they do property taxes.
Okay.
SoFi Stadium's actual value within their stadium is 920 million. 920 million. That is how much SoFi is valued for their tax purposes. The construction of the stadium, the cost of all that is not added into their property tax evaluation. I think their evaluation is then 1.4% of their property, and so that equals to 14. Kroenke didn't go to the California legislator and say, "Shit, I need you to bring this down for me." He put, "This is my own money. I will need help here. I don't need the tax rate changed." Now, the caveat you can then say is that, well, Illinois has a high-ass tax rate. Sure, not arguing that. But this is Illinois' tax rate. This is what it is. We see that the freaking Woodfield Mall pays 17 million. It seems crazy to allow a stadium, a $1 billion corporation, a $1 billion franchise to pay 10 million. They're going to pay more than a dying mall. That just seems crazy to me. And so when we're saying these things, we have to realize what the Bears are asking for is a bit unique. The vast majority of stadiums in the NFL are publicly owned, which is why there's rarely a property tax. If the Bears came to Chicago or to any other site, Illinois, and said, yeah, we'll do a publicly owned, that's fine. So publicly owned stadium. If that was fine and they want to do that way, that's perfectly fine. That's what they have now. That's why they don't pay property tax. They pay rent. That's different. I think it's 4 to 6 million. But they would go from essentially paying $59 million a year, which would be very beneficial to Arlington, to 10. And then they're going to pocket all of the money that's coming from coming from game day and coming from who uses it. That's not what's happening now, where the city, I think, gets $63 million a year in revenue from whether it's it generates $63 million a year, and whether that's from the games and from those who are using it. So when we're comparing it to SoFi and also with what's the name of the stadium Ballmer built, Scott?
Intuit Dome.
These are situations where $2 billion didn't have to go to the legislator to change the law. I think the pilot law is payment in lieu of taxes is the name of that bill. We're asking for a lot. We're only putting up $2 billion for it. We need $1 billion from you. We need to change the law so we pay less. I think it's reasonable for any Illinois lawmaker to go, ugh.
And Minnesota paid their taxes. They paid their stadium off early.
And that's why I think Kevin Warren messed up, because he thought it was going to be as easy as it was in Minnesota. It's two different worlds here. But I would say this. All the legal jargon and things like that is one thing. I think the thing that's annoyed me, there's two things that annoy me.
They would pay less taxes than United Center, by the way.
Oh, wow. But then also, if there's one thing Jerry Reinsdorf knows, it's real estate. That's what he does. But to me, it's two things. It's one, no matter how good they do on the field, the Bears are still the Bears. And we're seeing that from the way that they're even going about this whole thing. I think all three parties, city/state, the Bears and Indiana, are all tweaking. If I'm an Indiana taxpayer, I should be more mad than any Bears fan, because there is no benefit to this for them whatsoever. But I put a reel up on Instagram explaining to people that the team isn't moving. The stadium will be in a different area. I think I see a lot of people who think that the team is moving like, Bangor was in St. Louis when the Rams went from St. Louis to Los Angeles. the Indiana Bears thing is running me up a wall because, and not just a joke. No, that you can tell when people know the difference. But I've seen people say they're canceling their season tickets. They're going to be done being fans.
But wait a minute, hey, this is what you got to watch real quick. This is what you got to watch out with the season tickets. If you're from Northern Illinois, if you're from the northwest suburbs, I don't mind you saying that. That's a trek for you. Like if I'm,
but I still think if you're a fan,
you
shouldn't be. Out of all the shit the Bears put you through in your life,
I feel you. But I think it's because I think the issue that you're gonna start seeing really is, and I don't mean to get racial, but it's a racial undertone to it too. 100%. If I'm from Lake County, I don't want to go over here. I don't want to go through the South Side, deep into the South Side to go to a Bears game. I ain't never have to do it. It was damn near a straight shot for me to go here from downtown and everything. Now I got to go over there. If I'm a South Sider, and even to take the racial undertone out, if I'm from Mount Greenwood, a place they don't necessarily like us to be at, I'm like, yo, Jack, hey, we right down the street. Those are the people, I'm just putting the caveat when I say those are the people where if you got a problem, I'm like, all right, I totally understand it. Because if I'm coming from like Gurnee to go to a Bears game in Hammond, oh man, I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, you might want to make a weekend out of it. Like this is my thing. And that's what I just wanted to clear up, that the team is not moving. Okay. Yeah. This is not one of those things. I've said it on this show multiple times when I did the Super Bowl this year. The Niners legitimately play 2 hours away from downtown San Francisco, where Candlestick used to be at. Like, people had to make business decisions during Super Bowl week. Am I going to do Radio Row today, or am I going to do player team interviews? Because it was that far.
Radio people had to make business decisions.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, when they had opening night, some people who were at Radio Row that day didn't come to opening night because of how high the Uber fares were. It was ridiculous. I did Jets Bears 2 years ago. It took me 2 hours to get back from MetLife to Queens. It's a drive. So you got that aspect. But as somebody who's a lifelong fan, who's a media member, Soldier Field sucks as a stadium. Like, and I don't want to be that guy, but a lot of people who are complaining don't even go to the games. Like that's one that annoys me right there too. I get we as Chicagoans, we want everything in Chicago. I understand that from that perspective. I think you're well in your right to be upset because you want Chicago Bears to be downtown. I'm speaking at it from a point of privilege. Getting in and out of that stadium. Now, we're blessed to have parking passes. But if we didn't, Joe, when we used to go to that stadium before we media members, pain in the ass, getting in and out. So you got that. Outside of the actual overhead shot, when you see the Sears Tower and downtown, there's nothing fire about it. So I just want them to have a new stadium, period. But the mistake that the Bears made was getting the fans involved. All this could have been taken care of behind the scenes. And when there's real updates, then you do it. But I saw some people say, well, they had Adam Schefter and Mike Florio, Ian Rappaport repeating on. That means it's true. No, that doesn't mean anything. Especially Adam Schefter. I think him and Ryan Poles are real cool because he even be on 1920 Football Drive sometimes. Yeah. So he might have been like, yo, post this out for me real quick. But I'm going to give Kevin Warren a little bit of not stick, but a little bit of grace. Ben, you said it's a racial aspect, which I agree. I also feel a lot of the criticism towards Kevin Warren and our mayor, a little racist too. I'm not even a Fro Folks fan, but it'd be a little ism. In these complaints. Like, he's a buffoon. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's racist. And it's the same thing with Kevin Warren. But I think with this press release today, Kevin Warren is kind of trying to hold the state by the balls. Like, look, I got this one shorty over there. She's ready to do whatever I want like this. What are you going to do for me? Whether that is a summer session or whatever, it kind of feels like I know they don't want to go to Indiana, and that's why they haven't officially just said, yo, we're going to Indiana, because they can. Yeah. They also want to see if they can still control it. Because I kind of feel like they controlled it for a minute. And in Illinois, is like, even the press release, Joe, that you texted me earlier, they're like, yeah, they told us they're still open for debate. So to me, it's kind of like the same shit of both of them going back. And I feel like in his head, Kevin Warren has a date that he wants to get this done. I think there's going to be an announcement, right, whichever way. What's the report there at training camp when we usually talk to Warren and Poles and Ben and all them? I believe we'll know for sure by then.
Oh, yeah, it's two things real quick. It's two things. One, I think we got till training camp. And two, this just feels like the end of a romantic comedy to me. This feels like dead ass. This feels like, yo, I've been chasing this girl for all of this time. I've been chasing this man for all of this time.
This the part of Hitch when Will Smith got that allergy in his face blew up.
Like this is a part of the movie where the person that's doing the chasing's like, I ain't chasing no more. I'm about to move to Seattle and go to work. And the other person got to sit there and think and ponder. This is Eddie Murphy going to. This is Eddie Murphy with the TVs in the back, sitting there thinking and shit. Now I got to get myself together. Now we waiting for Eddie Murphy to go take the girl and the boy over to see Halle Berry to see if she gonna take him back. This is the stage of the movie.
He went to her class.
Yeah, like he took over the class. Now he's using the kids to get in with Angela. Now we're just waiting for them to go up to her office and see what happens. This is a romantic comedy where I don't know how this is going to end, but I'm interested to watch.
You know, it's interesting because the Bears absolutely have a sweetheart deal with Indiana. It's undoubtedly sweetheart. I first started wondering, man, why would Indiana legislature, why would they do this to Hammond? And then I realized the exact reason. That is, one, Hammond and just the area of Northwest Indiana is just not great, whether it's economically, socially. It is terrible. It's in a tough spot there. They don't mind if they get as big sports franchise that will run up the rent, that will run up the property value, that then displaces people, because that will be revitalization. It's an unfortunate thing because it's a two-sided coin. One, yeah, you are revitalizing the area, an area that does not have a lot of economic output. I think the average person's take home or yearly pay was like $35,000.
Well, they had no output since 1968.
You know what I mean? We're talking about $35,000 a year for the average person, median income. It's not great at all. And so, yes, this stadium will absolutely revitalize the area. But what's going to happen afterwards? The thing that's going to happen afterwards is that rent's going to go up. Well, if you're looking by in Inglewood, where there was construction, I was into it, right, Scott? Inglewood?
Yeah, even with Inglewood, even before, it wasn't that much movement with into it. But when they built SoFi, loads of people had, one of my homegirls had to move out.
So the average rent spiked 60% in Inglewood when that stadium went up, and it started to go up. The median price of homes jumped from like $300,000 to $600,000. So in one way, you're like, well, for the homeowners, that's great. Your property's going up, you can sell it, and then yes, you can increase revenue. But what happens is people lose their homes, they lose their way of life. They can't afford to live there. And that is what I was going to get to, as Orla said. They want to get the black and brown people out. There's 40% Hispanic in Hammond, I think near 30% black. So it is majority minority, and they're going to price them out of there. And for them, it's like, well, you know, we're getting more vitalization, but you're not really revitalizing the area. You're bulldozing it and starting over. And I would prefer if language just went that way. And then to make matters worse, I forgot the Bears owe almost $600 million in back taxes to the state of Illinois. They wanted to pay a $95 million exit fee to Illinois. J.B. Pritzker rightfully said, you need to pay a little bit more than that. Like, that's not a lot at all. So you want $1 billion from the state. You want them to then have to give you dramatically less property taxes. And then you want them to change the law. Because remember, the Pilot Act is, I think, enacted in like 30 states. It's not new at all. And Illinois is behind the trend to have a pilot, Payment in Lieu of Taxes Act. J.B. Pritzker was fine with that. He said, yes, we absolutely do need to have a pilot act in the state. The issue is we shouldn't have the pilot act enacted simply for the Bears where they pay so little. We need to have some sort of middle ground here. What I think will happen is I will give, McCaskey's credit. They don't want to move to Indiana. Imagine if the Bears were owned by any other group. Do you think they would immediately move to Indiana? Why wouldn't you? It's a sweetheart deal. It's a sweetheart deal. But because they want to stay in Chicago, or want to stay in Illinois, rather, I understand and I can agree that they're trying hard to stay here. The biggest issue is what's going to happen in Illinois, because you have two sides. You have the Chicago side that's like, man, hell no. You about to leave here and leave us. We don't want to help you get access to that. So state lawmakers that are from the north are saying, no, we're not going to help you. Then we have the Springfield lawmakers, the suburban lawmakers near Arlington was like, I don't give a shit about them over there. They're going to help us here. And so it is simply more. They don't care about the fact that they're going to pay less taxes. That's not even the bulk of it. The bulk of it is you have two ideologies that are bumping heads with one another. The ones who are in the city and the ones who are the suburban and Springfield. They're all jarring at each other for how they're going to make this work. I wonder, I know Courtney Cronin said, her sources tell us they don't think it's a leverage play. No, I think they are serious intent, but I think the leverage play is secondary. I think the leverage play is like, hey, I'm walking out the door. This is the last chance.
It's like when Gino was getting ready to leave Martin.
Yep.
But like not the first one when he was like, baby, don't go. Not that one. The one when she legitimately left and she moved all stuff out.
When the proposal, when he proposed.
Yeah, the proposal.
Damn it, Gina.
This before he got Brian McKnight to sing to her in the park.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. This is a romantic comedy.
And I do want to say that I will not say bets are off until that first spike is in the ground for the stadium. Because there is only one example I can think of, and it was the Patriots in the 90s about to move to Connecticut.
And also they don't want to leave. That's the number one reason.
Right. Yeah. And it was the same with because what's the owner of the Patriots? I keep forgetting his name.
Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft had signed documents, held a press conference, moving to Connecticut, but in their contract, he had an exit if things worked well where they are within that area in New England. And what happened? 3 weeks later after the press conference, whoop, nope, we're out. We're going right back to this, which is what I see the Bears doing. They're just like, hey, man, we're trying hard. Please come back. My concerns about the fact they're going to price out black and brown people in Indiana, that's unfortunate. That is the way our politics are. They say, well, we're revitalizing. But revitalizing means taking a whole bunch of poor people, getting them out of the area, putting rich interests and rich people in there, rich buildings. And so, yeah, it's going to get revitalized until you realize, man, what are the people who used to live here? It's like if we were able to do a macro study, let's say the three of us could live for 200 years, 500 years, and we had people who purposefully and really successfully invigorated Inglewood, and we came back 500 years from now, and Inglewood is just this sprawling, beautiful, Inglewood, Chicago, sprawling, beautiful area. We would be the three people who'd be like, what happened to the black folks that were living here? And what would it be? They got priced out of it. They got priced out of it, and the people who had money were able to come in. It's just
what you're naming, Joe, right now is the main reason why a lot of Brooklynites are mad at Jay-Z and been mad at Jay-Z since they built Barclays over there. If you go to Brooklyn now,
it's easier to just gentrify. It's just easier. It's a lot harder to figure out ways to pour resources into there that then allow the people to help themselves up to have better paying jobs, and also then the corporations, the people who are there, have to take less money.
Even look at the United Center. Does that look like the old West Side to you anymore? No.
Hey, look.
It's the West Loop.
Boy, me and my wife were talking about that earlier. Look at Chicago Stadium. You go back to Chicago Stadium and look at that and then see what it is now. Matter of fact, Roosevelt and Ashland, I can't remember what they actually call that neighborhood or used to call that neighborhood, but that shit used to be trash. I remember a Cops episode over there. My aunts lived in that project over there. That McDonald's across the street from a liquor store.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And you can go back to remember that episode of The Last Dance where Rodman came back from doing WCW and he was at practice, and I think it was the Bulls PR was like, we finna have him practice over. We're gonna have him exit out the side so the media come get him. And so they had that truck on the side of the United Center. Rodman run out the UC. You look to the left, the hood.
Yeah.
Right there in the background. So that's the difference. But we don't want to spend too much more time.
I do want to one last topic because I had to find
University Village. There we go. I couldn't remember that shit.
Ironically, the word university. I had to find this article from Stanford University on the Stanford Report. And there's a Stanford Professor Emeritus Roger Knoll. He says that NFL teams want to build a new stadium. They often argue that the facility will boost the local economy. However, Roger Knowles said the NFL stadiums do not generate significant local economic growth, and the incremental tax revenue is not sufficient to cover any significant financial contribution to the city. We're talking people who do this for a living, like, hey, it don't really do as much as you think.
Yeah. I think the number one thing that's hard for sports fans, no matter the league, no matter what the sport, to understand, the people who run these things, they don't give a shit about the fans. No. Winning doesn't matter. People are like, oh, well, they shouldn't put this out when Caleb and the guys winning. They don't give a fuck. They care about this monopoly money that they are playing with. They are thinking about the Super Bowl having here, the Final Four, WrestleMania. That's the type of stuff they're thinking about.
I will give one caveat, and I'm probably biased. I don't even know if this is even an objective opinion. I do think the McCaskies care about the Bears fans. And I also know that
I agree with that.
Because me and Scott, I mean, you bang as well. I've seen George 1,000 times. I know George cares about the fans because if George didn't, he'd did what the hell other owners have done. Hell no. Indiana did what? I'm in Indiana tomorrow. He doesn't want the Bears to go there, but he's also presented with somebody who's shaking a gold bar in front of his face, like, ooh, what do you want to do? And so eventually, yes, he will have to go. I will give him credit that he does want to stay. I just wish there was an effort on their part to say, okay, I get it. We're not going to pay the same amount of property. We ain't paying $60 million a year in property taxes. But maybe instead of 10, we'll do $25 million a year in property taxes. Even I could say, it's not perfect, but I'll give you that. And then say, rather than the $1 billion plus from the state and not paying that extra $500 million, so $1.5 billion, we'll pay our full exit fee, and we just need about $700 million from the state. I could get with that. Right now, it says Scott, you and Bang have said, Kevin Warren, on the behest of them, has them by the balls. And so what do they want to do? The folks in Springfield don't give a shit if the Bears leave. They go, hell, they hate Chicago already. And so they don't want to see it anywhere.
That was more of my point. The McCaskies care about the Bears, and I think George is an absolutely nice dude. Every time I've met George McCaskey, he greets you like he don't own this whole shit.
Right.
Super nice dude. I just don't think he's one of the top tier businessmen to get this job done.
And it makes sense also because, think about when George Halas created the team. Was George Halas some outstanding, incredibly rich millionaire in Chicago?
Now he was a football player.
Yeah, NFL ain't what the NFL is the richest league on planet Earth.
How many? I don't know. Are there any other teams that have that succession of ownership that has just stayed from start to finish like the Bears?
The Giants.
It was. Well, not from start to finish. I was gonna say the Lakers, but the funny thing about the Lakers, the buses sold. Genie sold the Lakers because they don't want to be in Staples Center no more. They want a new stadium, and the city of Los Angeles is like, fuck out of here.
Wait a minute. First of all, let me just say this real quick. So basically, all y'all saying is George McCaskey is Eddie Murphy. Hammond, Indiana is Robin Givens.
Yes.
And 100% Heights is Holly Berry.
She got good feet, all that.
But wait a minute. But the Lakers want to do what? Because
the Lakers, because technically Staples Center is an old NBA stadium now. It's been around for 28 years now.
How old is United Center?
United Center is over 32.
It's like
94 was the first season, I think.
It still looks so good.
No.
94, 95. No, 95.
95. It
95.
is 31 years old.
Right, because the first repeat, they were still in the stadium, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So the year that Mike came back with a month left in the season was the first year United.
Yeah, because that
was 94, 95.
Because SummerSlam 95 was the first event ever held.
Yeah.
And no,
crazy
96.
pool, crazy knowledge. That's a crazy pool.
Yeah, but, look.
I'm perfectly fine. I do think the Bears need a new stadium. As we have traveled to these stadiums, I'm like, oh my God.
The only stadium worse is Washington's, and they're getting a new stadium.
Right. What
94. It was 94.
94, 95, yeah.
The Bears absolutely need a new stadium. And the funny thing is, if by a miracle from God happens and they say, you know what, we worked it out with Chicago, we're going back to Soldier Field, we're going to tear it down. We're going to tear it down, and then maybe we'll play at Northwestern Stadium. Also, Northwestern Stadium, God.
Shout out to Pat Ryan.
But see, and here's the thing with that.
Looks nuts.
While we're talking about the Cronkies too, and then we're gonna move on.
They ain't off the hook either, because now they won like $300 million back from California, so that's another story. But yeah.
Well, I'm saying even with the Cronkies, like let's just say in the perfect world, the Bears were able to build over there. I wonder if the timing of how good they are would change things because the Cronkies have a deal with London to build Emirates Stadium where the Arsenal play to move from 60,000 to 90,000. But they don't want to do it right now while the team is winning because they don't want to take away any home field advantage. When the Bears did that renovation, the team was ass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that would have something to do with it, but
anyway. Could you imagine, let's say if the Bears are still doing this, let's say by some terrible situation, 2 years from now, the Bears are worse. They were terrible this upcoming season, terrible the next year. The Bears lose leverage with Illinois to do anything because they're like, why are we going to even pay? True. Why are we going to pay for a shitty
Look
team?
at Lori. Lori was making jokes. Oh, you always lose to the Packers. But anyway, we got to move on because we got Pappy coming on about 15 minutes. I wanted to talk about the Bears cover. Joe, do you have time to talk about the cover? Or you got to go.
Oh, I ain't doing that. I ain't waiting for my child to get out the womb. I ain't doing that.
So, the Madden cover, Madden 27. Now,
the Hammond, Indiana alternate, somebody in Photoshop
that shit was
the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Had him in front of a graveyard, damn near. But no, I don't know if y'all seen Mayor Kingstown, but looked like he was doing the jump man in front of Kingstown. That's what it looked like. That. But Caleb's the cover guy, and I felt two ways about it. One, I was like, man, we ain't never had a Bears player, a Bears quarterback more specifically. I think Urlacher was like on NFL 2K2 or some shit like that.
He was on NFL 2K. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And Roberto Garza was on the Madden in Espanol cover.
That, first of all, an offensive lineman on any video game, no matter the language, it's hilarious. But how many
Mexicans is it in the NFL at the time?
You saw, like, I feel like the last 48 hours, you just
I ain't seen Roberto Garza in eons, by the way. Like, not even anything Bears related. I feel like it's been 10 years.
But he's been really getting into this superstar type of vibe. They had an event yesterday, which I wasn't invited to, but it's whatever. What do you feel about this cover? Like, I'm happy, but I'm like the Madden curse. But I also found out the
terrified. Let's just be honest. I'm fucking terrified. I am filled with 70% dread and 30% joy. When I first saw my homie from a couple of days ago text me and said, "Hey man, did you see the cover leak?" I hadn't, because I did like Scott and I had deleted Twitter from my phone. So if I accessed it, I had to go on my computer. I was like, no, I didn't see it, man. And so he sent me a link, and it was the alternate cover, the deluxe, when he's doing the Iceman. My assumption was it was fake. I'm like, that's probably fake. I didn't do any further, detail. Then when I woke up early, either yesterday or the day before, and I saw that, this was real, I said, hell yeah, fuck. That's the first thing I thought right afterwards. Because the truth is, as Bears fans, is whenever there is a lick of success, it feels like it's followed by just an avalanche of failure. And I don't know if it's an overplayed thing. Like, I don't know when I think about the fact that if I try to get into my own head and realize where am I getting this sort of curse from, I look at Mitch's second year. We're at the second year where they went 11 and something, whatever that was.
Yep.
I was like, hell yeah, man. That next year they're going to take off. That next year's going to be cold. Nothing. I think about, if we take it to other sports, not name the Cubs or the Blackhawks. White Sox won the World Series, and I think they won like one playoff game after that since then or something like that. I'm used in Chicago sports, and then when you add the Bears, and when we have great success, we just fall the next year. Super Bowl in 2005, nothing the next year. We went to the NFC Championship in 2011, nothing the next year. And now we have to add all of that and compound it with the fact that the Bears have a quarterback on the cover. So the first official cover, not the we had the Roberto Garza alternate for the cover, but now we have the full first cover with a Bears player. That alone is special. But then it's a quarterback. And I'm fucking terrified because I'm like, all right, man, is he going to get injured? Is he going to suck? Is he going to revert? I give myself the rational answer, which is that players who have a okay first year, but a good second year tend to be good because you deal with all the riff and all that struggle the first year. You rebound in that second year, you tend to be good. Versus the players who pop off that first year and then get that second year, they tend to have a little less trajectory. I looked at the player that Caleb is, and I said, I see Caleb scanning the field. He does very well. As the season got on and he really started to get in that playbook, he looked like a pro. And we obviously know that's the one thing I will say. When the game's on the line, I'm far more comfortable than I've ever been with any quarterback the Bears have. But then I revert back to that old trauma of like, is this real? The Bears
You still don't have all the Bears PTSD out of your system.
I don't.
And I think that has more to do with the Bears curse than the Madden curse. So I have some fun facts for you because as we see in the chat, Shane O'Mac says Pat ended the curse, I believe. Now last year's cover man was Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Saquon did not have the historic season he had in the league before. Still had 1,100 yards. It was like 300-400 yards receiving, and he had 8 touchdowns. It's not a bad. That's a regular Saquon year. That's exactly
his
what that
quarterback
was.
and wide receiver didn't like each other no more.
Right, exactly. And we find out they were tossing around masseuse in the Eagle locker room. That allegedly. So I have a fun fact for the last 5 quarterbacks.
I did have something to say. Is that just injury wise? Since 2010, the amount of injuries that have come from the curse. Since 2010. McCaffrey, Antonio Brown, Gronk, Peyton Hillis, Troy Polamalu. So was that 5? 5 people have been injured, like actual
10
injuries.
haven't.
So it's not bad.
Let's be real. Chris McCaffrey's hurt every damn year.
Yeah, that is true.
You want to be honest about it.
The
Peyton
one
Hillis was a 1-year wonder.
Right. Troy Polamalu, he was banged up, but he was always
at the end of his career. Troy was hurt a lot.
So we got some caveats, is what we're saying.
Like, but here's the last 5 quarterbacks. So Josh Allen was the last quarterback to be on the Madden cover, Madden 24. He was a top 5 MVP finalist. He threw 38 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay. Before him was Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was the reigning MVP, and he threw for over 26 touchdowns, had over 1,000 yards. No, he had over 3,000 yards, and he led the Ravens to a playoffs and won a playoff game. Tom Brady won his final MVP the last time he was on the Madden cover. The year before that, Patrick Mahomes won MVP and the Super Bowl. And then the 5th one, Drew Brees threw for 5,000 yards that year. And I think they went to the NFC Championship game and lost in a controversial way to the Rams. So the Madden curse might be dead. But as I texted Joe a couple days ago, the Bears curse is bigger. Now, I already knew that our playoff history was nasty. But when you read it, it's nasty. So in the Super Bowl era, which is 1966, the Bears have made the playoffs back-to-back years twice. One time was in the 80s, and I got the exact date right here.
85 in the year after?
So it was 85 and 86. Those are 2 years. And then, of course, 05 and 06. And that was 21 years ago. So
right,
that's the biggest thing.
In the year after, in the year
after 05 was the Peanut Tillman game. 06, they made it to the Super Bowl. I will never forget the Peanut Tillman game. Me and my man Mike, we were watching the game. I shit you not. I got the pizza from the door. I dropped it off in the kitchen. And all I heard was Mike, gee, they scored already. I was like, bro, the game just started. So the Bears curse is bigger to me than that. That's what I would be afraid of. And even though I don't have Bears PTSD anymore, they knocked out when they beat the Packers. That's just for me. I understand. No, I don't have PTSD. I have brains. That defense, that pass rush is ass.
Something did break when they beat the Packers in the playoffs.
I felt released when I'm not saying we're gonna lose to the Packers this year. We'll probably split.
Yeah.
But I'm no longer going to these games. I was out. That Ben, you remember in the group chat that week of the playoff game, and Joe, you were sitting next to me when we were watching the game.
Right, I
was losing it. I don't remember nothing from that game, but that ball hitting Kyler Gordon's hands, and everybody rushing the field, and our guy Adam Johns is like, look at my bottle and shaking, like that. That's pretty much what it was, man. So I have no PTSD. That doesn't mean I think they're gonna be amazing this year. I think they'll make the playoffs. But that's only because I think the pass rush is mid.
I will say if Caleb takes, like, I feel like his first year, if I was giving him a grade, it was like a 6 out of 10. I think his second year was like a 7.8 out of 10. If Caleb gets himself like to an 8.8 out of 10, then I think that they become a legitimate threat. Not a contender, but a threat. Because, again, they will lose or win with him. I mean, think about it. One good pass, and they're in the NFC Championship. Like, yes. That's what. If that pass was better, or if there was communication with DJ, whatever the situation.
If DJ ran the right route,
if that is completed, the game is over, and they're going to the NFC title. Are they going to beat Seattle? No, But that just shows how close they are. And that was what I don't want to say solely, but that was a product of Ben scheming and Caleb coming into his own. So if he takes that next step, then it's just dangerous because defense don't win championship. It's you win with a great quarterback. You win with a great quarterback and a great scheme.
Defense wins championships when you can score points. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
Bang, do you have any Madden curse fears or anything?
Nope. The first day we talked about it, I was nervous. Now it's a sense of pride.
Yeah.
Now I feel charged.
Yeah.
See, that it's probably 95% I'm charged up, 5%. But again, it's because I said it's a sense of pride. Now the national media can't utilize that Bears tax, at least for right now, in the way that they normally would. Now, if Caleb does not have the year that he has,
do we want to talk family business amongst the traitor here?
Oh shit! Yeah, no. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Nothing. But yeah, that's
we
my
got
thinking,
in the house.
But yeah, that's
a man who left because was Anthony Thomas was here.
Anthony Thomas, Rashawn Salam, Curtis Enos. I remember they were selling Curtis Enos jerseys at Montgomery Wars.
They were.
But no, I would agree with Bang. It is a sense of pride. It's cool as hell to see. I mean, it's just dope.
It's cool.
It's like watching your little cousin turn up. That's
and then like. To see Caleb's like, the dude is a star in the city. Like, it's just nuts to me. We were in freaking Lakeview the other day, and we were trying to go to Gap to get some shit. And it was so many Caleb jerseys on. I'm like, there's nothing Bears related happening.
I have a Caleb Williams stories for you.
This the one you told me.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Obviously, yeah. So obviously I live in LA. So obviously Caleb, be in LA a lot. Like I would see him I'm not gonna name the spot, but I would see him out, right? Like I would just see him out, right? And it was during All-Star weekend, and me and a lady friend of mine, she lives in Chicago, but she was out here for All-Star weekend. So we had went to XYZ spot and Caleb was there. She was like, yo, can you tell Caleb to take a picture with me? I'm like, bro, I'm not finna walk up to a grown, like, what? Like, I'm not finna do that. She literally walked up to him and was like, thank you. You saved my city. And like, literally, she walked up like, yo, thank you. You saved my city. He was like, yo, thank you. I like, thank you. Like, on some nice shit. Like, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, she literally walked up like, you saved. So I can attest to the fact of like, just Caleb, what he's done so far and what he will probably continue to do for the city. It's just great. Like, there's nothing like having a genuine star. Yeah. Like the Bears have had like stars, but they've been like not receivers. They've been like I'm lying about receivers. They've been defensive players, which is different. Like you had Urlacher
or Devin Hester.
You had like Urlacher.
Solely him.
Yeah, you had Urlacher. It's different having a quarterback in your city that you can really get behind and root for and make you think that it's 18 weeks. Make you think that all 18 you got a chance to win. So,
and you can only think that when you have a quarterback. Why? Like, and obviously I'm not comparing them to the baby goat, but why do you think what's it called? Chiefs fans talk so confidently. We have 15. Like even somebody who hasn't won. Bills fans, I'm pretty sure, even though the Bills haven't won a Super Bowl yet, we have Josh Allen. In most games, we're gonna get you. Baltimore. Yeah. I feel like we can say that, or should be able to say that by the end of the year. I think that'd be for anybody who still has question marks. It'll be there. But also, I think you see he wants to be a star. Yeah. He decided, I want to do the Jordan thing. A lot of people would have shied away from that. He was like, I want to do that. And just the way he responds to the negativity that comes his way, he don't take anything personally. Now, he's a troll. I did find hilarious. He put that Boosie song on his IG post today.
I tried to have a conversation.
With who, Boosie?
Yeah, I tried to have a conversation. Boosie was in Atlanta, in our station in Atlanta, and I got the word that he was there and co-hosting. And I was like, hey, get me on the phone. I tried.
I just need to talk to him.
I just need to defend my QB. Like, shouts out to Incognito, Posted on the Corner. You can actually listen to Posted on the Corner here in Chicago on Streets 951. But yeah, I tried to have a conversation with Boosie. They wouldn't let me because they know me. Yeah,
and I think too with that, you also see like the way they had the event. Yes, you had all of ESPN come to Chicago. These are events that kind of happen in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like these ain't stuff that happens here. You
So
had
that was
Cam
here?
Newton out there. Yeah, that was it.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Attesting to that about the stadium, I think that I've been to a solid amount of places. I think Chicago has the worst stadiums for a world-class city on planet Earth, and we need better stadiums. And again, that's the thing. Like Chicago, it's a whole bunch of things about Chicago as a whole, as a city, as a whatever. But like it's genuinely a world-class city.
The comment said, "Boy, Pav, you live a cool ass life, dog." I told you,
Thank
you. Dos Equis man.
Thank you. But like genuinely,
Dos Equis,
Chicago is a world-class city, and Chicago doesn't even treat itself like it's a world-class city. Like the United
Center, small city mentality, bro.
The only stadium I've been to, on everything I love, I've been to maybe 10 NBA stadiums. The only stadium that I personally been to that's worse than the UC is a Delta Center, which was built in 1991. That's Utah.
You talking about Utah?
Utah. That's the only stadium I've been to that's worse. That is a problem.
Yeah.
The problem.
But see, the first two levels of the United Center I don't hate.
Bro.
Third floor look like 1996. They got Jordan Haynes ads up there.
That's what that shit look. Bro, the Cubs had urinals. Like, no, not urinals.
Troughs.
Piss bowls.
They had troughs.
I don't even what you call them. Who?
Troughs.
They had troughs until 3 years ago.
Troughs.
They had troughs until 3, 4, 5 years ago. Why? So Chicago needs better.
But see, there's a method to the Cubs madness here because they're in the competition with Fenway to see who's gonna blink first. They have the oldest stadium, so they can get the national monument.
And I promise you, Fenway Stadium is better than the Cubs Stadium. I promise you.
It probably is.
I promise you it's better. I haven't been, but I promise you it's better. But I just want to say I know y'all was talking about the stadium. I just want to say wherever they build a stadium at, they could build it on the moon.
Right.
Chicago just needs a better stadium in general, a better sporting a better place to host sporting events, because you could get things like why is no World Cup games in Chicago? That don't make sense.
Exactly.
Like why?
They
why?
got in the Midwest ones, Arrowhead Stadium has the Midwest World Cup.
So you let Kansas City get a game, and Chicago with all these different genres of people that we have in Chicago, and Chicago couldn't. You want to know why? Stadium. So like whatever they decide to do, I just hope Chicago gets a better stadium and becomes more of because again, it is a world class city. And I hope it starts treating itself like a world-class city.
One last Bears thing before we get opinions on Myles Garrett, and then we're gonna talk NBA Finals. I heard Rome talk 2 days ago. Yeah, this guy. He's a bandwagon Rams fan now.
Yeah, we here. But
it don't matter because nobody who go to Rams games is there for the game anyway. That is legitimately
You're right.
SoFi
it's a party.
For Rams games.
It's a party for 4 hours.
With a football field.
Literally, it's a party.
You will hear I heard a Joe Moses song at a Chargers game. That tells you kind of mood they got over there. They don't care about the football. But
they have a Boosie Bellows at SoFi.
They do have a Boosie there.
They have a Boosie Bellows. Y'all don't know what
I was in the Google suite.
Nah.
They have a Boosie. Also, Boosie Bellows used to be a club in LA. They closed the club. They made it into, I think, a sushi spot. But they still have a Boosie Bellows club at SoFi Stadium.
Long live Boosies.
Nobody goes at all for the football. You just go to have fun.
Yeah, pretty much. I was in the Google suite. I didn't know the score until the fourth quarter. I was enjoying them bringing the drinks to me. But one last thing on the Bears. I heard Rome talk the other day. And Joe, you're talking about my spidey senses. When he said this is my new normal with my injury, I was like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I get where he's coming. Like, I know what he's talking about.
Me is what I'm saying.
That is just injuries in football in general. And if I played other sports, I could, attest to the same thing. But what happens is when you break something, when you dislocate something, whenever there's a fracture, your body will adjust to it. Your body will adapt to it. There are some injuries where you can come back pretty much 100% and you don't have to worry about it. Then there's other injuries where you have to learn to live with it. There is a base level of pain that you just have to go with it. The problem is that as a fan or as someone who's even reporting on it, it's like, ooh, that's discouraging. For instance, and I'm going to put a history question towards Jonathan because I know Jonathan loves history. Let's imagine, Jonathan, we're back.
He threw the government name on that. That's how you know he's known this man a long time.
Pav, imagine we're back in the war and FDR says, I don't know, bro. Germany kind of cold, bro. We might be in some issues. What are you gonna say? What you mean you don't know?
You don't know.
I'm
they
horrified.
Got the H-man over there. You better figure some shit out. The H-man over there. The H-man over there running through Paris, taking pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower. You better figure this shit out. You better lead our country strong. We don't want to hear that.
So now you got Rome. He's supposed to step in as the number one receiver. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be in a lot of pain, man. That's my new normal. You're like, ooh, I don't want to hear that. Even though
can we get DJ back?
Right, even though it is a reality of just playing as an NFL player. I mean, if you look at half the players who have retired and kept their mental faculties, they got a nice limp to it. You can believe that they had the limp when they were playing, but that they played enough and you didn't see it, but when they got older and they didn't play as much, it came more pronounced. So it is normal. It is very common with the injuries that he suffered. It just sucks to hear.
It sucks to hear, but it's definitely an opportunity for my favorite YN, Luther Burden. It's definitely an opportunity for him.
It's a time to come forward. I mean, Rome he's still more targeted by Caleb, but this is a perfect time for someone who I think is just as skilled as him to assert himself.
I mean, that's hilarious. I will say Luther in well, I pretty much watched basically every Bears game, but Luther was dynamic in the games I saw him.
Yeah,
like the games I saw him, like Luther was a very dynamic player. Like he changed the games. He changed the game in many games. Why are you looking at me like that?
Watching all the Bears games, huh? Just a quick step away, bro. Come back to the fold. Come back.
You can always come back home.
Man. No, listen. I'm not gonna lie. I watched all the Bears games. I will say the Rams are because of where I live.
Yeah, I mean, you've been there for a decade plus.
Give
me credit.
I'm not even mad at that. You ain't some dude who just been there for a couple of years.
Like I see these people outside.
Yeah.
So Rams, I'm not gonna lie to you though. Bears, you know what? Cool. When it was Rams versus Bears, I'm not gonna lie. I had to have the Rams winning because I wanted my LA life to be good. Like I just knew
that's a reasonable answer.
If the Rams went to the Super Bowl, G, we up.
What did you feel about when the Bears beat the Packers in the playoffs, though? I know there had to be some sense of like, hell yeah.
No, like good. Like good for them, bro. Like good, like damn. Not even good for them, good for the city.
That's a pat on the back, huh?
That's like a good job, champ.
No,
good
job,
like,
that's like when women say, "I love that for you."
Literally, right. It's literally I love that,
man.
No, but genuinely, like again, good for the city. I know how much Chicago cares about football. I know what Chicago feels like in the winter. You need something to root for. Like, yo, like good for them, bro. Like people, I knew. Me and Scott talked about this. I saw girls who I'd never seen watching football religiously going out to bars to watch Bears games.
Not only bars, they were at Soldier Field, bro.
That too. But also religiously going out to bars to watch Bears games. Like on some like, yo, nah, like Sunday.
I saw there's this random girl I saw on TikTok. She was actually from London.
I like that.
I saw your text. You can stay on. I wasn't gonna kick you off. But I didn't have time to respond. But anyway,
fair.
But yeah, she was from London. She just moved to Chicago.
I like
and that. She said she hasn't gotten to American football, but she went to a Bears regular season game when they played the Cowboys. And she was like, oh, now I'm obsessed with American football. And she said, I just love the Bears. And she was like, a lot of Bears fans tell me, it's not usually like this, but welcome. That's what I want to say to new fans. I don't fan gatekeep. I'm glad y'all here. Y'all ain't had to sit through 3 quarterbacks on Thanksgiving 2004. All right? You had to sit through. Remember when we thought we were going to clinch the division in 2013? And Aaron Rodgers was like, I think not, 55-14. You have to sit through them. When we were up 17-0 in Khalil Mack's first game. And Aaron Rodgers was like, you know what? I'm healthy. I'm about to go out there and ruin their night. The only thing I ask of new Bears fans is you can't go anywhere now. You're here. From here on out, you are here. That's the only requirement.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Myles Garrett. Because this trade dropped, and I had to do the video that I was doing over 3 times. And I couldn't believe what I was reading about the Rams game. I don't know if y'all saw not the post game, but the Preston. That man, Sean McVay, was smiling like an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
He was smiling from ear to ear. Now, there was a lot of people who are mad about why couldn't the Bears jump into this. There's 2 words for why the Bears couldn't get into this. Jared Verse. Show me the Jared Verse on this roster. Like, honestly, the Browns said we wouldn't have done the deal without Jared Verse. There's no Jared Verse on this roster because they didn't give up that many picks. They gave, a first rounder and a second rounder? Yeah. Jared Verse was the crown jewel of this trade. I give up everybody not named Caleb.
No, I'm just saying, we giving up Jalen Johnson. That's gonna do it for it. That ain't gonna do it, y'all.
Jalen Johnson, Tariq Stevenson, and a pick. No, that's not gonna happen. But the person who I feel the most for is Jared Verse. Remember, think about, man, you with the Rams, you rich, you live in Los Angeles. It was probably 90 degrees that day, and you wake up. What's good, bro?
90. It wasn't.
You gotta go to Cleveland. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Forecast over here. At worst, it was 70. Okay, at worst. And you're like, hey, dog, you got to go to Cleveland. I feel for him. But one thing about this trade, I think it will work as long as Matthew Stafford does not break his back. That is, if Ty Simpson comes out, it's going to look like Houston last year. Well, they just needed CJ to do anything. Like, they just needed CJ to breathe on the Patriots, and they could have won that.
Shout out CJ Stroud, man. Shout out,
bro.
Stroud.
Let's move on from Ohio State slander.
Shout out CJ Stroud, man.
I thought the other day, I texted Joe out the blue. I was like, we really thought Justin Fields was going to do this, and I just had a nice hearty laugh. But anyway, thoughts on Myles Garrett going to the Rams? Does this shift the balance of power that much?
No. I mean, let's not obviously, Myles Garrett is the greatest edge rusher of his generation. He's a fantastic player. He's nuts. I don't know how far he is from the sack record, but I wouldn't be shocked if he came within striking distance of it. Jared Verse,
he broke TJ Watt straight. All time.
What is it like? 200. The dude from
I think it's 200 even.
From what's
John Rand,
Bruce Smith? It's
Bruce Smith.
It's Bruce Smith.
I think it's 200 even to like 199.5.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that it's 200 even. It is 200 even. Yeah, it is 200 even. So I'm pretty sure he'll be coming somewhere into that, when he retires. My main issue is that Matthew Stafford is 95 years old. He's coming off his MVP year, his best year in the league. I thought he was great, but he's getting older and he's still getting hit. And this is a pretty good Los Angeles defense, but all you went from is that same position being good to being great. There are still other holes outside of that I don't think have been fixed just yet. So I don't think that's enough to balance the power, even though Myles Garrett is a game wrecker on his own. Yeah. He is great. Jared Verse, I think, is a very talented young player. I don't think, Jared Verse's output is Montez Sweat. He's a better player than Montez Sweat, but his output is Montez Sweat. But so they went from good to great in that position, but there's just more things outside of that would make me still uncertain that they would win. That being said, they were close to going to the Super Bowl, but I don't know if this puts them over the edge.
I'll say this as the resident LA Rams fan here, as somebody who watched pretty much every Rams game last year. A few things. Their front seven, I want to say, was always solid. Their secondary was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
like their secondary last year was awful. Now, granted, getting Myles Garrett, obviously, if you can get to the quarterback, he don't get a chance to throw the ball. You put pressure on the quarterback, that helps your secondary be better. But still, at the same
time, remember they beefed up that secondary.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
Ignore my comments.
They did get you right. You're right. They did get Bro from the Chiefs.
Hey, Flows, don't worry. Get Bro from the Chiefs. I was coming.
Right.
I was going double.
I completely forgot. Ignore what I just said.
Because it happened so early in free agency.
I completely forgot. Ignore what I'm talking about. This is a terrible situation.
You're right. They did get you right. They did get Bro from the Chiefs. But again, this is still football, right? It's not the NBA. Whereas like the NBA, if you have the best team, in theory, you should at least get to the championship. This is football. We see many times for the best team, you might have a bad game one Sunday in January, and it's over with. So you might have a
bad game, especially in this division, the NFC West. That's a three-team division. You might have a bad Thanksgiving, and now you third.
And now you got to go on the road.
Division.
Yeah, and
Seattle's still cracking heads.
And now you got to go on the road or something like that. So it's
Yeah.
like, I think the Rams have a great team. I think this season will be interesting. Also, the one thing I don't want to mention it because I don't want to make fun of the problem, but Puka, wasn't he in alcohol recovery?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with him.
Like
this Myles Garrett trade told me we're not paying you. That's what
yeah.
that
It also said
we
we
paying
ain't
none of y'all.
None of y'all, like literally none of you all.
Fair, but also you got Puka who was in. I'm not making fun of it. Who was in alcohol recovery? You got Devontae Adams, who's old. Like Devontae Adams might be my age or like 2 years younger.
How old is Devontae?
Devontae is like 33
I think
years old, bro.
I think he's 33, 34.
Devontae is like 33 years old, bro.
33 years old.
I can't name another receiver. I don't know who they running back is. I know Stafford.
Buddy from the team up north. I forgot his name.
Buddy who fumbled multiple times.
Mans. That's the problem. I can't even name a running back, and I live in LA. So, like, again, I don't think it's a sure thing.
Kyron Williams.
There you go.
And then Blake Corum is the Michigan dude.
There you go. But I don't think it's a sure thing. But obviously, yeah, you get Myles Garrett, you obviously upgraded your team.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Before you go, Bang, I don't want to quote a Packer, but Micah Parsons said it pretty well. He said, "Yeah, we got dogs in the NFC. Like, yeah, he's a great player, but this ain't the AFC." Yeah. It's basically what I look at Myles is after the initial shock of Myles Garrett going there. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm a little concerned, but I packed that thing too. Yeah. That's kind of how, like, if you're an NFC contender, you're gonna be looking at this.
And they still have issues with their interior defensive line.
Yeah, well,
their interior defensive line is still undersized and still subjected to play action. That's just how they've lost. Is the same feature. Now, unless you sit here and tell me that they found prime Warren Sapp and I didn't know, then I'm gonna be annoyed.
Well, look, this is double-edged sword here, because they did get Trent McDuffie. They did upgrade in their defensive backfield, and I'm not going to say that Myles Garrett has not played with anybody of talent on the defensive side, because that defensive side has been the calling card of the Cleveland Browns since he's been there. Yeah. Like, they've been good there. They've been coached very well. They got some decent players over there. We've never been worried about their defense. We've only been worried about their offense. And it is something that turns on a defensive player when you look and you know you got a good offense on the other side. It makes you play harder. Yeah. With that being said, yes, Scott, Seattle got that thing too. You know what I'm saying? And as long as Seattle was in that division, it's always going to be a dogfight. As long
Kendall Roy going to have something to say about it, too.
Shanahan
ain't going to be out here without a fight.
The only team they ain't got no dog in the fight, the only team that's like, God damn, is the Arizona Cardinals. With that being said, if somehow, some way, they convince Aaron Donald's wife to let
that's what I was just about to say. Aaron Donald, don't give any damn ideas.
It's another situation where I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah, look, this is all about his wife. This ain't got shit to do with Aaron Donald. This has everything to do with his wife. This is Rocky 3. When Adrian looks over at Rocky and she say, go get him. And Rocky says, all right, I'm about to go get him. This ain't got nothing to do with Aaron, because I think Aaron Donald want to come back. He ain't got too many texts from people who said, hey, this is something to think about. You know who ain't trying to think about it probably? Aaron Donald's wife. Because she like her husband being at home. He been at home for 2 years. Now he got to come back and do what? If she say, baby, go get him. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This right here now.
And that's how you know that Aaron Donald loves his wife, because Tom Brady would have been like, 2 more seasons.
Now, this is fun fact. I am the person on here that got drunk in Iowa some years back, and the next morning
Where's the story going?
Had a Heineken and a blunt, and the Oakland Raiders traded Randy Moss to the New England Patriots, and I looked at my homies who was from Boston and said, y'all going undefeated. They said, nah, 14 games. Nah, y'all going undefeated. I will make that same prediction at least through the regular season, that if Aaron Donald ends up coming back, I do, even with how tough that NFC West is.
And worse, they lose one game.
The Rams can't go undefeated, bro.
Here,
if they do,
because here's the problem.
Oh, and guess what? Hold on, you ain't said the biggest part. Guess where the Super Bowl is next year?
What do you think it's going? Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's the problem.
Yeah, nah.
You will think that, but you put Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett on one side, you cannot double team two guys who's used to getting triple teamed.
We don't play them this year, do we?
I don't think, no, we don't.
God.
That's the problem here, y'all. A team who just upgraded on their defensive backfield. If that man decides to come back, you can't double him. You can't triple team him. And you can't do that with Myles Garrett. And again, these are two people who are used to that. For every year of their career, you let any of them go, oh, so y'all gonna block me one-on-one? It is a problem. It is a scary problem. And if I'm Matt Stafford, this is how I'm looking. Oh, shit. Back problem or not. Because you got two running backs over there that's pretty decent. You got an offensive line that
this is
stable.
good. The Packers play them. That's awesome.
You got a wide receiver room. I don't give a damn about what Puka's problem is. They still got the best route runners in the NFL.
Man, that Bronny going tight end. It won't even matter if they get Aaron Rodgers. That Bronny be tight end.
It is scary time. So everything is contingent on Aaron Donald's wife saying, yeah, baby, you could come back, but you can only play one more year, and that is it. Because now I got 1 year to let this shit ring off, and Myles Garrett looking like shit, so ain't nobody going to double team me too. Shit, the other two dudes ain't too bad on that other side.
Imagine how quickly you're going to have to get rid of the ball if you're a quarterback playing the Rams.
Fam.
You going to have not even a second.
Go ask Reggie White how it felt to not be double teamed in some cases because you got Gilbert Brown right there in the middle clogging up everything. Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
And the last time the Rams won the Super Bowl was also in LA in 2022.
Literally, the only and the thing is with Aaron Donald is that he can have a warm up for the entire season.
Yes,
he can spend the entire season getting up to form. He doesn't even have to be necessarily good. He can spend his time getting back to the flow of the game, the speed of the game, understand, okay, this is what I have to do. Because, he lifted weights, he stayed in shape, but it's different to be in game shape. He can spend all that time as long as the playoffs come, and he can be ready for that divisional. He can be ready for that conference and that Super Bowl. And if there's a wild card, realistically, he needs to be ready for 4 games to really be at the greatest of the greatest level. And someone who is as great as he is, generational player, I would not doubt that he would. That is horrifying.
And I think the scary thing about Myles, and we're going to move on to the finals, is he played that way on a losing team. He's going to be gassed just because he's on a contender and he get to wake up to palm trees and sun every day. He knows that, when the game is over, there's quality restaurants I can go to. You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of vibe.
I can go to Sushi Samba.
Exactly. And if you lose, guess what? They don't give a shit. You don't play for the Lakers or the Dodgers. You're not going to get killed on the radio. You're going to get more national hate than you will locally. Locally, I'm like, Mookie went 0 for 8 in the first round. We need to go get him. LeBron ain't retired yet. Those are going to be the headlines. It's the perfect thing that I hope doesn't happen.
Do you think we really care about a defensive end over here, fam? Shit, you got to.
They don't care about the Rams.
They don't care about. They don't care. They don't
care about the Rams.
They don't care about. They don't care about football like that in LA, unless
they like football, just other teams.
They like the Cowboys and the Raiders.
The Cowboys and the Raiders and the Niners are the top 3 teams.
And the Niners.
Like the Cowboys have their training camp.
They did. They have it in Upland, which is far as shit, but they have it.
So moving on to the NBA Finals, man. Game 2 is tonight between the Knicks and the Spurs. Man, it actually feels like the finals.
It does.
Like it feels like the finals. I watched the pregame show the other day. And even though I haven't watched that much inside the NBA this year, I've been one of the inside crew in the finals my entire life. I watched the pre and the post halftime. Remember how in the finals you'll get Chuck, Kenny, or Shaq on NBA TV for like a game or 2, but you never get all 3 of them. You definitely never got Ernie. You're getting all of them.
It feels like an event.
Yes, they brought the logos on the court. They had the big trophy when they do the introductions. And most importantly, you got two legacy teams. You got the Spurs. You got the Knicks. You got a massive fan base, the feel-good story in the New York Knicks. And you got potentially the future face of the league. This is how it should be. Like, if I'm hyped for tonight, I ain't been hyped for an NBA Finals game post Steph versus LeBron in a long time.
I wasn't even hyped for them games past 2016, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Once KD joined, come on.
I was hyped because I knew that LeBron was gonna get another L add on to that tally. That's where I was hyped. But this feels like the finals, man. Now, game one. Here's my thoughts on game one. Now, Joe, are you a Wemby hater? Because I feel like you like Wemby, but then you don't like Wemby.
I have a love-hate relationship with Wemby.
Okay.
Wemby has the talent to be the greatest player I've ever seen in my life. It is unbelievable the things he can do on the court. It is so funny because I've noticed that if you get past him, like you cross him and get past him, it doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
You have to be 20 feet in front of him and maybe you'll score.
The ball has to be going into the ceiling.
I saw a play, like go under the rim from the other side. I think it was Alvarado to score. He blocked it.
Yeah,
I said, how is this possible? How is this possible to even do that? Defensively, he is insane. As someone, that dude is almost 8 feet tall and he can move so crazy. The biggest issue is I hate the fact that he spends so much time outside of the paint.
On the perimeter.
Yeah. I understand this is the way the NBA is. And a big man can shoot threes. He can take up the ball. I have no issue with that. The issue with that is that why is every possession him starting at the three? Let's mix it in. Because the times he said, man, fuck it, I'm bigger than y'all. Let me just do it. He has scored. I will give Cat credit. He's played tough because Cat is a big player. However, I hate that he is not utilizing more of himself by getting in the hole or less diversifying his options. I'm not going to be the old man who yells at clouds because a center is shooting a three. I got over that a few years ago because I would be like, oh, I was a center at the three. Now I obviously don't care about that. That's the way the game has evolved. However, what I've noticed is that in the playoffs, even the teams who were shooting the most, they were saying, all right, we need to diversify. Let's get more easy baskets. And sometimes Wemby doesn't make the game easier for him. I also don't know if this is just, someone who watches NBA more than me. You may know this is just the way that his coach likes to do things. But sometimes it seemed like they put him.
I think that was a game one thing because he wasn't doing that in the West Conference Finals.
Yes, he was.
Not as much as game one.
Yes, he was. Game one of the West Conference Finals, he was doing what you said, getting in the paint, being 7'6". The other times,
no, that's what I mean, though. But like in game one, I felt like obviously he wasn't doing it the entire series.
That's what I'm saying, though. I think it was consented. It was consented in the Western Conference Finals, and that's why I was
it was game one when he had 45 and 20 and however many blocks, and we was like, oh my God, Wemby, oh my God. And then the rest of the series, he played like he put on mad KD footage and then went out to play basketball after he watched the KD footage and was like, I'm gonna do this. And that's been my problem with Wemby. And again, they're in the NBA Finals, bro. So it still might work. Forget everything I'm saying. But right. I just think that offensively, he could be a much better player. People are like, oh, Wemby need to go to move. You're 7'6". You don't need to go to move. Get the ball, put it up here, and shoot that motherfucker.
The ball is in basket.
Anywhere in arm's length of the basket, and you can score.
Score. Like, you don't need, like, why? Like, you dribbling, trying to do crossovers. Like, it look cool. It's
he's
dope.
Too tall for that.
It's dope that you do. But you know what the problem with that is? You are 7'6". You know how long you have to dribble the ball to get to the ground? Like, even when I think it was Alvarado, the play that steal the game. I think it was, Hart stole it.
Yeah. Was that Alvarado when it was like Wemby was at the? He was not at the. It was Hart.
It was Hart. But like, bro, Josh Hart 6'4". When you dribble the ball, Hart is right there because you're so tall. So when you put the ball on the ground, it's literally right there. All I gotta do is swipe at that bitch a few times. You ain't that good. You can't handle the ball that good, bro.
It's funny because Shaq, I don't know what story he was talking about. He was talking about how when he was playing in high school ball, he tried to do the same thing originally. He's like, oh, man, he said, I thought it was going to be a little bit of Magic Johnson. I was going to come up the court. And he said, his coach was like, what are you doing? Dunk the ball. And Shaq said he just started going, let me get to the hole and dunk. Imagine if Wemby said, you know what? I'm 9,000 feet tall. I'm going to stay in here.
But he did. He had one play where remember when they were like that 12-0 run in the fourth quarter. He hit Cat with a move, got right to the basket, got an and-1. That's when I thought the game was over.
Yeah.
And I think Wemby got to change how he plays. But to me, the reason why the Knicks won was number one. De'Aaron Fox was selling.
Oh,
He was selling.
I'd rather have Pav out there if I was him.
They should should just give the ball to Dylan Harper, get out of his way.
Yeah.
But the Knicks had a game plan.
Yeah.
And we're all going to give Jalen Brunson the credit, rightfully
Carl
so.
Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns won that game. When they were down 14 points in the third quarter, and it was the saxophones was getting louder.
Starting to play.
Cat was like, nah, fuck that.
Offensive rebound. Also, what shocked me was the way he got around Wemby. Like he got around Wemby like 4 or 5 6. Like I didn't granted, John with you. One time he blocked him, like he recovered because he's Wemby and that's what he could do because he's long. But like the way he was getting around, and also I was shocked that he even came out guarding Cat. Remember on the show, I was like, yo, like, is he gonna go hard? Because of the fact like
trouble.
No,
putting that body on.
No, not even that. I thought he would guard Hart because of the fact if you're on Hart, granted, I know Hart shot 40% from 3 during the season, but he's not historically known as the best 3-point shooter. Right. So if you put Wemby on Hart, in theory, Wemby could still roam as opposed to Cat. You're not leaving Cat. If Cat at the 3-point line, you're not leaving Cat. Like, I know Cat said he's the best big man 3-point shooter ever. I think it's still Dirk, but he has a valid claim.
Yeah, because he won a 3-point contest. But Dirk was pulling up on
not because of that. Because of it's been 10 years of him shooting that motherfucking ball. He has a valid claim to being the best 3-point shooting big man ever. So you can't leave Cat. So I was also shocked that they put him on because I'm like, yo, it takes Wemby away from the basket. Like if Cat gets the ball 26 feet out, Wemby just can't be like, yo, I'm gonna just watch the man. No, he gonna dot your eye every time. So I was also shocked that he also did that. But we got to give Carl, like, granted, I know Jalen Brunson made the plays down the stretch, even though he had an Allen Iverson shooting percentage.
For sure.
He had an Allen Iverson.
That was definitely an AI shooting percentage.
I know he made the plays down the stretch, but they wouldn't have even got there without Cat.
But that's my kind of – I know he's a point guard, but he's kind of more of a shooting guard in my opinion. That's the kind of shooting guard performances I like. Go to hell ball.
You need that.
We don't care about shooting percentages. Like my favorite Kobe games were the ones he was like 8 for 26. But them 8 paid, were big baskets. You know what I'm saying? The Jordan shot like that in the 96 finals.
He did. He was horrible. He shot 39% in the finals. That's the worst finals he had. 39 to 41%.
Because at the end of the day, what we're going to remember, what did you do when it mattered most? I don't give a shit if I look back and it says, damn, that nigga Jalen Brunson shot 14%. Right. If I look up and he had 45, I'm like, damn, that nigga was killing.
People don't remember that Kobe was shit in Game 7 against Boston.
I remember.
Yeah, but I always say key rebounds.
Ron Artest remembers.
I always say key rebounds when niggas.
I ain't gonna lie.
Always bring that shit up.
I ain't gonna lie. I've had actual arguments with. Shout out. It's gonna sound. I've had actual arguments with Paul Pierce about that game.
Look at this guy. Look at me. I get to talk basketball. Paul Pierce.
Right.
I've had because I actually lost a bet to him because I was like, yo, he had 17 rebounds and now it was 18. I'm like, nah, it was 17, bro. I thought he forgot. He played in the game. He was right, obviously, but like, yeah.
And he was he sitting down? You ain't on your Bible, Pete. What
it goes. There's that comment Orla has in the chat that literally says, "Don't be a pussy like Chet." I'm not gonna, put my own spin on that, but it's exactly right. I would rather you shoot 5%, but you took 1,000 shots because just keep trying. If you're gonna spend your time not doing, I don't want to see that, and I don't give a shit about the amount of times that you hit it efficiently. I don't. It's great.
Stats have ruined. Everybody care about efficiency too much. Like gunslinging ain't dead in the NFL. Y'all just scared, bro. I don't care about efficiency ratings, bro.
We need to bring it back to Drake, man, 74% pass and all that, man. He's completed every pass, but when push came to shove, what happened when he went against them real niggas in the Super Bowl? Ass. It would have been what would they have would have said if he threw 40%, but they won and he was slinging that motherfucker? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It's all time. I don't care how efficient you are. Win the game.
Yeah, now it's time to get to it.
Yeah. Bang, any thoughts on game 1 before we move on to game 2?
I mean, Wemby gotta figure out if he's gonna be aggressive or not. I think that's literally it. If Wemby comes out there aggressive, then, it's depending on the aggressive. He can't be aggressive and be at the top of the key trying to be Stephon Marbury. That's what he can't be. He got to get down in the post and he got to know and understand that, hey, I might be tired of shit at the end of this game because I'm bodying against these cats, but that's how we're gonna win. He has to do that. If he's at the top of the key trying to be Stephon Marbury and trying to be Allen Iverson, then this is gonna be Knicks in 5.
The problem is there's a stat, and this is why stats lie. There's a stat that the Spurs are 12-2 when Wemby takes 8 or more threes.
Mm.
What?
So
that's an interesting stat.
Yeah. There's a stat that the Spurs are 12-2 when Wemby takes 8 or more threes. I don't believe in that number because I don't believe in that.
I think you should shoot less.
But it's hard to tell somebody and a team, especially when you can make them. Like, even look at game 1, the biggest shot. Granted, nobody was guarding him. He came up court. Nobody thought he was gonna pull it. But like, he can make those shots. And yes, true.
Orla, you have a good point because they brought this up on Lebatard, and they were trying to act like it was an excuse. Like, no, it's true. And I was watching Road Tripping podcast, and RJ and Perk and Shannon had Malika Andrews on there, and Malika said that when she was talking to Wemby said, like, we talk about windows and stuff, but I want to get it now because of the blood clots I had last year. I don't know how long I'm gonna play.
What did I say to you?
So
before the season, I said all that before the season. We always think these big guys, we always think players have 15 years. There's nobody that we've seen that size outside of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and all those guys have 15 years in the league. We haven't seen it.
So on top of that, Wemby is like 8 inches taller than all of them.
Well, Kareem was like 7'3", but yes.
Kareem probably 7.
No. I met Kareem. Kareem is a legit 7'3", bro.
From down there, Scott, can you tell?
Okay, all right. That was all right. Below the belt.
Kareem is
very mature, Rondell.
Kareem is 7'2", so Wemby is 6 inches taller.
Yeah.
But also there is something that's just concrete about physiology in the human body. The taller you are and the bigger you are, there are certain things that will just start to wear and tear at your body. And for him at that size, those blood clots are just something that, it's a nasty business. And there are always exceptions to the rule. There are always exceptions of people who are not only blessed physically, but they're blessed also with the way their body manages all that. It could be Wemby. Wemby could play those 15 years. But the way I see it moving, I'm like, man, you're just a big ass nigga. You
just gotta hope it's not like the Chris Bosh situation.
You know what I'm saying? And then every now and then he will try to high fly himself. I'm like, let's try to keep it on the ground.
Not facts. Like, even with the way he moved, like, bro, we one wrong step away. Like, even with the way he plays, I'm like, bro, you jumping a lot. Like, you jumping a lot, you falling a lot, you doing a lot of things.
We talk about AI. He fall like AI sometimes. Like AI used to be,
but AI like our height.
right.
Ain't far to fall.
He ain't really got that. Yeah, he ain't got that far to fall.
And that's why it would be even beneficial for him to work on. Let's spend the most of my time just dominating the paint, because being strong and moving people with your strength, in addition to the moves you had, will last you a lot better than, holy shit, I'm KD at the 3. Let me cross him and then leap from the free throw.
Yeah,
Let's not do that.
He got to get on whatever diet that Giannis got, so he can go and figure it out. But
no, I don't think
he don't need to be on Giannis. Giannis got lower leg issues too.
No, he gonna have lower leg issues anyway. That's my point. He's gonna have these issues anyway. I don't see. Look, I'll just speak for me. I don't see Wemby playing past 10 years. I just don't, because of all of the potential that can happen to him. But
or if he do play past 10 years, he gonna be missing majority of the season.
Yeah, but the other part of it is I think he moves too much. I think he moves around way too much. He does not maximize his movement. And when you up again, if you're trying to be up at the top of the key, trying to be like Stephon Marbury, trying to be like Allen Iverson, you're not maximizing. If he's in the post, I think he could do a better job maximizing. Even if he's at the corners of the court, I think he could do a better job maximizing. Shouts out to Kevin Duckworth. Man, go shoot that little shot jumper that his ass used to shoot against the Bulls and shit. Stop trying to across everybody.
He
going
said
to
that
do
little
all-
bullshit jump with,
Yeah, that little bullshit on the-
with the wristbands.
Yeah, do that little side jump at the corner and shit and just dominate that shit. He moves
Right.
too much. He does not maximize his movement. And with him not maximizing his movement, he's going to get tired because he's just going to be running around like he is 6'1" point guard.
Bang, I want you to know maximizing your movement is a bar, and I'm still in that for so many things.
Hey man, let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Maximizing your movement
What
is
did
a
Hakeem
bar.
tell KG?
I'm hitting him with lateral movement. I'm hitting him with lateral movement.
What is the thing that he had that made the blood clots? It was something. It was some sort of name.
I don't remember the name.
I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of it.
Deep vein thrombosis, ain't that it?
Yes, that's
yeah.
yep.
I just know that once you've had it once, getting it again, your recurrence of it elevates significantly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it can break off and travel. Like, this is the danger of having that. That being said, I want none of that to happen to him. But it would help his body if there just was not so much pressure and stress from the moves that he does. Let's just try to work on compact movement, nigga. I sometimes look at Shaq's game. And I'm like, it ain't like he was out here going, it was literally, I'm big as shit, get out of my way. You don't need to be Hakeem. That is just an anomaly.
Matter of fact,
Hakeem wasn't even moving that
what tape you need to watch? Antoine Jameson did at this point. Jameson get the ball, throw that bitch up, I'm gone. Like, Antoine Jameson had that bitch in his hand for like 2 seconds flat. Foul, boom,
Because think about that. If he starts catching that bitch 5 feet from the basket and jump, are you gonna get up there?
He gonna look like Mike on Space Jam.
Literally, the moment he raises his arm, he's at the rim.
Nobody can block. Like, bro, like when he realizes I'm 7'6", there's nothing anybody can
you can't
ever
stop
do.
me.
And that's why if you throw the ball here and I catch it here and I turn around and shoot it, I'm either gonna make it or miss it.
When they went down 3-1 to Lakers, and they was like, "You guys had no answer for Shaq." He's like, "Well, duh. Like, what you want us to do?" He catches the ball and it's over. There's nothing we can do but try to send him to the free throw line.
That's why I said maximize your movement.
And he actually makes his free throws.
Boom, bye.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Maximize your movement. Catch that ball. Boom. That's
wrap this up with our predictions. I just have to ask y'all this one question. Have y'all accepted that we might live in a world where the Knicks are the world champions?
Yeah.
Y'all accepted?
Yeah. And again, I told you, if they have a chance to close out, I'm flying to New York.
This man, he searches for the vibes.
That's the only reason I'm going to New York, for the vibes.
You don't even like New York.
I don't. I hate New York. But if they win a chip, I have to, like, this is something you would tell your generations about.
I'm not gonna lie, this would be the wildest thing since the Cubs won the World Series.
For sure.
It's gonna be wild.
I will say, as a unfortunate and reluctant Bulls fan, there is something in me that will never allow me to be happy for the Knicks. I just won't. And it's not like we're like this deep. See, we have plenty of rivalries, plenty of historic games.
Yeah, and they never beat us. Like, when it matters.
It's not like there was deep seated and they did something that matters. That being said, I can never just root for them. That being said, I do like this New York Knicks team a lot. I like this. I like the fact that Mike Brown has helped them get to this level.
I like Mike Brown. I like Mike. He always got the bad end of the stick.
He deserves it.
Right. And to see him get to this level is so dope. I'm happy for them. Cat is hilarious. He's like a walking meme, but I like him watching him play. Jalen Brunson is a dog. Jalen Hart is funny on and off the court. I like the team. I
like everybody on the team except for Josh Hart, and that's only because he's a Chelsea fan. There's no other reason.
Now, I will say I learned. I completely forgot about that because he said, "Oh man, London's still blue." He said, "Did you all win the Champions League?" And then the person was like, "Did you win the league?" So that may knock him down. Right, couldn't say much. That will knock him down. But I like the team, and when I told Scott, I was like, "Man, Knicks in 6." Scott was like, "Hell no." That being said, if Wemby decides,
I didn't say it's gonna get washed though. I said Spurs in 6.
You did. That being said, if Wemby decides that, oh shit, I'm 7'6", I will immediately change this.
And that's why tonight is so important. Because I think one thing we can't do at the NBA Finals, and we always do this, don't want to put too much dip in your chip because of Game 1.
For sure. Game
1 is the ultimate fill-out game.
Yeah.
Last year, the Pacers won Game 1. 4 years ago, remember the Celtics won Game 1 pretty impressively over the Warriors.
Right.
wasn't pretty.
People was talking crazy after that game.
They was down like 15, and then they finally came back and took the lead.
Bro, but it was same thing as the Knicks. They were down 14.
Wait, so the Celtics were down in that game?
Yeah.
The Celtics
So maybe they said, "Oh, the Warriors gave them the best shot, and the Celtics still won." I can see that narrative.
The narrative. I know it's only 4 years ago. The narrative after the Warriors lost game 1 was nasty. They ain't got nothing for the length of Tatum and Brown. And then Andrew Wiggins decided to change the series, which is still nuts to me. But all I'm saying is tonight is on Wemby. This is how they say legacy moments. I want to see him come out in the first 5 minutes, like, hey, y'all in San Antonio, we gonna win this game. But they have to keep the lead. A 15, 20-point lead ain't gonna deter the Knicks. They've come back from that multiple times this postseason. They've got to keep their foot on the gas and keep it on the gas.
And then
they go to Madison Square Garden.
Oh my God, down 0-2.
That's it.
This series ain't coming back to Texas.
Listen,
it ain't coming back.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, right? Granted, the Spurs did not play their best basketball, but the Knicks also did not play their best basketball.
Right, exactly.
The Knicks also really didn't have a good game. Jalen Brunson shot 11 for 31. What if he shoots 50%?
It's not good.
OG, he had a good fourth quarter. The other 3 quarters, ass. What if he has a good game? Mikal Bridges hit like one shot that I remember. Literally like once. The bench is what really kept the Knicks, like Jose Alvarado, Landry Shamet. Those guys really kept like the Knicks in the game and helped them make that run. Having said all of that, I'm going to pick the Spurs to win game 2.
Yeah, I'm picking Spurs tonight.
Because they have to.
They have to.
If they lose game 2.
De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper got to fight first.
Also, we cannot have.
Remember that. Hold on, I just
want to say this. One last thing. I'm going to make it very quick. We cannot have the Knicks win 16 straight playoff games and win a championship.
No.
Oh, that'd be nasty.
We can let them win. They can't have no records.
NBA history type shit.
No.
I will say this. I have one test for me to know if the Knicks are going to win tonight. When Wemby gets the ball, I want to know where he's going to receive it on and what's happening. If they're running down the court, he's at the 3, that's perfectly fine. If they start setting their play and I see his big ass walk toward a 3 and that first shot is a 3, they lost. That is going to be my hot take. If that first shot is him in that cup, put niggas out, I'm like, all right, Spurs.
And don't let him make it.
No matter what happens tonight,
if you make it, it's a problem.
What is going to be like in Madison Square Garden on Monday? I think that's going to be the most
raucous coming.
Yeah, first of all, he's going to get booed.
It don't matter.
Crust.
He going to be there.
There's this thing I know, Pat, if any of you all ever played the new college football games.
Yeah.
So in the college football games, if you're going to hostile territory, it says Stadium Pulse in the top right corner. So if you're somebody who's playing like where Texas A&M plays, because for instance, I was playing as the Hawaii coach. And we play freaking Texas A&M. The Stadium Post went to red. The freaking screen is shaking. The screen is shaking. That's what Madison Square Garden is going to be times 2. Hey, I would be horrified to play.
Remember back in the 90s when the Bulls and the Jazz was playing and they had the little meter at the bottom?
The Delta Center used to be one of the most loudest stadiums in the 90s. Bro, it's going to be like that post credit on Quantumania where it was a stadium full of Canes. That's Madison Square Garden on Monday. That's what it's going to be like. So you don't want to go there down 0-2.
It's going to be a circus if you get there 0-2. The nigga that the world don't like gonna be there, so you gonna be booing him.
I forgot he's gonna be there.
But they gonna do the national anthem, and niggas just gonna be lit for that moment right there. You come out,
they gonna put him on the screen because he's the president,
right?
And he's the owner's friend. It's you thought the national championship boos or something?
Boy,
this is gonna set a world record of boos.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna get the mayor is gonna get the complete opposite,
right?
For sure.
Of that.
So
it's going to be. And again, De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper got to fight. So, at this point, I got the Knicks tonight. Because if them niggas ain't fault, then shit.
And you finna have one thing I love about the Knicks, and we'll wrap this up. I love how they have all the alumni there. You finna have Tim Thomas over here, Walt Frazier over here, Melo, and JR, even random Knicks, Steve Novak.
Patrick Ewing out here looking like he run a bodega. Like
Patrick Ewing looks like
Steve Novak can't get free tickets in that game, bro. Tickets are $10,000. We can't get one of Steve Novak, G. We can't get one of Steve Novak.
He ain't got to pay one. He's alumni.
Nah,
about
bro, we
that.
can't get one to Steve
He
Novak.
gonna
gang.
get
I ain't
it.
gonna lie to
Derek
you,
Harper
nah.
about to get a ticket. Trent Tucker
They
about
need
to get
to,
a ticket.
bro. Real talk.
Herb
Y'all
Williams.
need to lift the Charles Oakley ban. Oak got to be in the house.
Nah, he ain't
He
gonna be in the
gotta
house.
lift. He
Hey,
gotta lift the Charles
hey,
Oakley ban.
if Michael Jordan and Adam Silver can't get you up in that G, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
It's over with.
That is true.
It's over
That
with.
is true.
It's over.
That's true. But yeah,
Michael Jordan and Adam Silver tried. Hey, that's a wrap. You just go to the away games.
it's gonna be if there was any game I wish I had tickets to, it'd be game 3. Like that's gonna be insane to watch.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the biggest parade ever.
I mean, and is that Sunday or Monday?
That's Monday.
Oh my God.
They messed up and not having it on the weekend, in my opinion. But that's how they schedule it because they want game 7 on a Friday, if there is one. But yeah, I got the Spurs tonight. Not because I think they will. I think because they have to. Yeah. That's pretty much. But I gotta see how they play tonight. But I'm closer and closer to thinking Knicks.
Larry Johnson gonna make it.
Spree well been in some games. Allen Houston. He had all of them there, man. So we're gonna wrap this up. This was an old school episode. I'm not gonna hold you. We thank Pav and Joe for coming on. Pav, you got a new video. Really, really like that video. Real old school.
Thank you, man.
Pav.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Joe thought you bought the house. I was like,
nigga, he buy the house?
Yeah.
No, I didn't buy the house. Just go past it and put the camera. No, I didn't. No, I did not buy that. I wish I could. It would be great. We would fucking do Thanksgiving there, and I'd invite all the homies, and we'd be partying in there. But no, I did not buy the house. Anyway, forget how I feel out right now. Please go check that out. Check out all my music on every single streaming platform you possibly can. It's all there. And yeah, man, great talking with you guys. Joe, I ain't talked to you since last time I talked to you. Great talking to you. Obviously, Bang, I talked to you the other day. Scott, I talk to you all the time. But yeah, great talking with y'all.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Bang, y'all got any First Black Champs dropping this weekend?
I don't know, man. I will find out tomorrow. But other than that, man, I am sitting here playing 82-0.
82-0.
I finally got it. And I realized the only way to do it is if you have to have LeBron and Wilt, because that is how I got my team. Kyrie, Jerry West, LeBron, Kevin Garnett, Wilt.
Yeah,
that's how
I've been playing that shit. While
the 20-0 is way harder. The football one.
I got 82-0 with Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Keon, Kevin Garnett, World Be Free, and Oscar.
I don't even know who Larry Keon is.
I don't even know who Larry Keon is, and I'm an NBA guy. I don't know who the fuck.
All I know is he's on the Spurs team.
That's hilarious.
All right.
Me and Tosin have a World Cup preview episode dropping on Monday. It's called World Cup for Dummies. Check that out. Basically, it's just him telling me who should be the favorites because I have no idea.
I was gonna say something and I'm gonna not say it.
Say it.
So I was looking at World Cup. So I was looking at World Cup tickets, and guess what the cheap game is?
No, don't do it. Don't even do it. Nope.
I think I know.
Nope. Hell no. I know where this is going. We'll say it after we get off.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. But anyway, check that out on Monday. World Cup for Dummies. Check that out. Me, Pav, and Bang, Merk, we got a new episode of Summer Sessions out on the Patreon. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. When Pav finds out, he didn't know who Chris Kringle was till Drake said it. So yeah, exactly. So listen to that while we shame him.
Hey, real quick, it's like 400 level seats.
Okay, man, enough. That's all we got, man. We about here. I'm not gonna hold you.